Welcome back viewers to round 6 of the EKS here at Daytona Sandown Park, where you join us in this video for Split 1 Race 1. This is the first top split race of the day, and here is how the grid is going to line up for this race. Former Sandown DMAX SuperChamps champion Phillip Baboolal has put it on pole position, starting ahead of fellow former DMAX SuperChamps champion Jamie-Tiley-Gooden. He actually just won the championship earlier today in Club 100 over at Baboolal Park, and he's rushed straight over to Sandown Park and put it in second place on the grid. Jack Simmons has never raced here before in Sandown Park, and he's done an incredible job to qualify up in P3 alongside Jack Whitehouse, who has also just shooted here from Baboolal Park. Jack just finished third in his championship in Club 100, and on row 3 of the grid we have Alexandros Adagnakostopoulos, and we have the first of the senior drivers in Elliot Cheesley. Baboolal won the last 3 DMAX SuperChamps championships down here at Sandown Park, but his qualifying didn't quite go to plan as he's qualified down in 7th place on the grid alongside Charlie Foster. Jules Larkins, a regular here in Sandown's Sodi SuperChamps. Let's see if he can replicate his Sodi form over to the DMAX cars in this race, and he's starting on row 5 alongside Daniel Varlan. Carlos Almanis and Luca Nick are teammates. They are starting on row 6 of the grid together, ahead of Ollie Cooper-Welton, who used to be a manager here at this circuit back in the late 1990s. Callum Mendelow starting alongside Ollie on row 7 of the grid, with Louis Draper then starting in 15th place. Louis is Callum's stand-in teammate for today at Red Monster Racing, with then Simon Phillip, another former DMAX SuperChamps champion here at Sandown Park, starting alongside him in 16th. Grant Fernandez and Alf Shub, they then make up the final row of the grid, and we can now hand over to our commentators Tom Dillon and Ed Hunter, who will take you through the race.
Phillip Baboolal and Jamie-Tiley-Gooden on the front row heading into this race field, making their way up into turn 8. And we're going to see who gets the better of the starts. We're on the slightly shorter layout today, so there'll be a shorter run down into turn 1 for these drivers, which makes it very pivotal that you get this race start correct. Waiting for the lights, and there it is, it's lights out and away we go. And it's a good start for Phillip Baboolal, a fantastic start for Archie Bullard, who already gets himself up into 4th position off the race start, getting himself past Jack Whitehouse as well and back around the outside line. So Archie Bullard is into 3rd position. Phillip Baboolal maintains his lead ahead of Jamie-Tiley-Gooden. Carlos Almanis is going to have a tangle with Elliot Cheesley. I don't think there was contact. Elliot misses breaking point, dives down the inside line, and ends up pointing at the wrong way into turn 3 end.
Yeah, a little bit messy there, but luckily not too chaotic. I think Grant Fernandez also had an incident as well at the very, very back of the field now. But look up front, Jack Simmons sees the 2 leaders go side by side, and a bit of contact into turn 6 as I think that's Bullard getting very aggressive then at the end of this opening line.
Yeah, if I've read that correctly, that's Phillip Baboolal dropping down into 3rd, and Archie Bullard looking for the lead of the race in the 2nd lap. Jamie-Tiley-Gooden was in the lead across the line, but Archie Bullard, who was only 700 of a second down at the line, gets down the inside and gets past on Jamie-Tiley-Gooden. So it's taken 2 laps for Archie Bullard to completely undo his poor qualifying session, as Jack Whitehouse goes down the inside and gains himself a position on Charlie Foster. Lets him back through though, as I think he used a little bit too much muscle there, as Carlos Almanis also follows through. And actually, as they make their way into Vale, which is actually turn 5 around this circuit, Jack ends up losing 2 positions as Luca Nick goes through as well, continuing to battle Carlos for that senior class lead. Here goes Ollie Cooper-Welton, he's down the inside as well, and Ollie Cooper-Welton finds his way through an upper position ahead of Jack Whitehouse as well. So not an ideal lap for Jack Whitehouse, but certainly the ideal lap for Archie Bullard.
Yeah, so easy to get swamped, isn't it? One person goes by and then suddenly another 2 in quick succession as well, so you've really got to be on your toes, keep that momentum up. That's how a DMAX car intends to go then. But yeah, up front, Archie Bullard starting to really stretch his legs over Jamie-Tiley-Gooden, but Tiley-Gooden keeping pace with him so far. And then we've got Jack Simmons and Jules Larkin looking to really take the fight to Tiley-Gooden as well at this phase. As we continue to watch Luca Nick as well, closing upon Carlos Almanis for that senior lead as they're coming towards turn 6 now. Luca Nick getting very close and just stopping as he hits the back of Carlos Almanis' car. Carlos goes a little wide, gets back to the racing line, and they continue in the same positions as they were.
There's a move in the background as well, as that's Callum Bendelow very close with Ollie Cooper-Welton. Callum gets to the inside line and through on Ollie. Jack Whitehouse trying to make up some more ground here, uses the 2 cars going side by side as a way to slide his way through on the inside line. Is a sensational cutback from Jack Whitehouse, and he finds his way through into what actually turns out to be 10th position. So fair play to Jack Whitehouse, that's a very tiny move.
Yeah, and they're still fighting it out behind him. Cooper Watley just holding on from Cameron down. But yeah, look at Luca Nick as well, still tucked right behind his teammate Carlos Almanis for the lead of that senior class. And again, Carlos gets that slightly wider line, which leaves him slightly vulnerable going into the final corner. Look how much Luca Nick is really pushing to keep the pressure up here, and you can see from the rear camera, Carlos, that Luca Nick just weaving all over the place, looking for the little opportunity that could give him the senior class lead. Oh, it's Elliot Choosley also being barged out of the way a little bit further down the pack. It's not been a good first half of this race for him.
No, but it's been a perfect start to the race for Archie Bullard. He's was one of the favourites for this heading into
Nick
it.
going for the
yeah, there
lead.
goes Luca Nick down the inside line into Vale. I'll go back to my point in a moment. He gets himself into the lead of the senior class ahead of Carlos Almanis. Through Vale he goes. Just sensed maybe he had a little bit of room. Goes down the inside of Carlos Almanis and makes his way through. But we keep an eye on that. Archie Bullard and Phillip Baboolal, both drivers are Sandown Park champions. Archie, of course, a back-to-back-to-back champion. Jamie-Tiley-Gooden has been overtaken by Jack Simmons as well. So the two drivers we thought maybe be favourites for this, Archie Bullard and Phillip Baboolal. Certainly Archie Bullard living up to that at the moment. But this battle between Jack Simmons and Jamie-Tiley-Gooden continuing to rage on, as there goes Phillip Baboolal down the inside line. Was that of Jamie-Tiley-Gooden? Make a lot of sense, but he certainly made himself up a position there, Phillip.
I think it might have been Anagstokopoulos that he was just fighting Alexandros there. As I also saw Elliot Choosley trying to go to the outside of Daniel Varlin at the turn 4 hairpin, again sort of getting barged out. There's a great fight just outside the top 10. I think Jack Whitehouse leading a whole bunch of cars here, and Elliot Choosley right at the back of it, trying once more to get himself into a 14th position here. But yeah, up front though, as you see them all just cross the line side by side, Jack Simmons having got to the front is now Jules Larkin, has also slipped by Tiley-Gooden as well. So Tiley-Gooden starting to find himself in a little bit of difficulty here as the fight for second really heating up now.
It is, and Jack Simmons, as Elliot Choosley tried to have a little bit of a look very briefly to get past the car that is just ahead of him, but wasn't really able to do so. That's Louis Draper. He's battling along with Jack Simmons. Is trying to chase down Archie Bullard. It's 1.6 seconds in between the two of them, and Archie is decidedly quick in this race, so it's going to be difficult for Jack Simmons. And actually, I think he's more concerned about holding on ahead of Jules Larkin, who's now got past Jamie-Tiley-Gooden, Charlie Foster, Alex Anagastopoulos, and Phillip Baboolal. So Alex has got himself back past Phillip Baboolal once again, and Phillip Baboolal actually is under pressure from Luca Nick. Carlos Almanis falling by the wayside ever so slightly. He's got a view of the battle as Luca Nick makes his way out of turn 3, tries the outside of Phillip Baboolal, now widens up his line as they head into Vale, which is turn 5 on this layout. Looks to follow in behind there, then onto the straight, of course. Phillip Baboolal goes to the inside line. He's going a little bit defensive here. Luca Nick has got the run. Has he got the move, though? He tucks in behind. Doesn't really want to make that move on the inside line. It would have been very aggressive.
Yeah, there's just that train of cars behind Anagstopoulos and Baboolal sort of sandwiched in the middle here, which is not ideal because he just restricts the space that he has to work. So he's desperate to get past Alexandros into 2 and 3, and that allows Luca Nick to go all the way around the outside. It's such a narrow gap there, but Luca Nick goes all the way around the outside, and Phillip Baboolal loses another position there. Great opportunity from Luca Nick.
Yeah, just sensed he had that gap and gets through Phillip Baboolal, who's really struggling in this race after starting on the front row of the grid. Luca Nick then is all over the back now. Not quite all over the back, but he's certainly going to be there soon, of Alex Anagastopoulos, who's having a really fantastic drive here up in that very lofty 6th position. Charlie Foster sitting comfortably in 5th at the moment. 4 minutes still to run in this one then, so we've got a few laps to go at this stage. Archie Bullard still looking very, very comfortable at the top of the order. I think that's really what we're keeping an eye on now, that battle between Luca Nick and that driver just ahead of him, Alex Anagastopoulos. And if he can get through, Luca Nick just extending that gap he's got behind to Carlos Almanis, of course, is his main rival for the senior class in this race.
Yeah, Jules Larkin starting to give Jack Simmons a little bit of trouble as well in the battle for second. You can just see from the onboard Jack Simon as the sun's going down, the shadows of Larkin trying to get alongside him, and indeed he gets alongside into turn 6. There we go, in that bright red race suit. They're going side by side as they just get to the final corner, and Simmons just about able to hold on there, but Larkin absolutely charging there in these final few laps.
3 minutes still to go, and Luka Nick is closing up to Alex Angelostopoulos, who makes a little bit of a mistake out of turn 2. That gives Luka Nick a little bit of a run. He's gained probably about 0.2 of a second on this lap alone, as you can see on the drone. All the drivers making their way through. It's just 0.2 of a second in between Jack Simmons, Jules Larkin, Jamie-Tiley-Gooden, and all the way back to Charlie Foster. Well, actually, they're spread by about 6 tenths, but the point is it's very, very close, and we can see them make their way down into turn 6. As there's Jules Larkin looking to defend for that third position, as he's really under a lot of pressure, and by the looks of things, it's not going to be way through. Excuse me, it's for second position, of course, at the end of this lap. And well, let's see how they clock over the line. It's going to be Archie Bullard in the lead ahead of Jack Simmons, Jules Larkin, Jamie-Tiley-Gooden, and Charlie Foster. So Jules Larkin trying for second, and there goes Jamie-Tiley-Gooden down the inside line, and I believe able to make his way through.
Yeah, classic example where Jules Larkin had to get a little bit offline, and not only has he had to let Tiley-Gooden through, but now Foster fancies a run around the outside as well. But Larkin goes up the inside into turn 4, and he's back through into third. And this all just takes the pressure off of Simmons, as Foster now goes up the inside of Larkin through that very fast right-hander that is turn 5 and in the Vale, and he is through. Charlie Foster up to third there. Brilliant drive.
Really, it's fantastic, as Charlie Foster so far on for what will be basically his best performance in the EKS. Jack Whitehouse is able to gain a position, though that driver is making his way into the pit, as Elliot Chewsley now looks to the outside line. It's a little bit further down the field on Graham Fernandez, so we'll keep an eye on our sort of leading gaggle as Jack Simmons crosses the line once again ahead of Charlie Foster, Jules Larkin, and Jamie-Tiley-Gooden. As here goes Elliot, then looks to the outside line, but Graham just closes the door a tad on him. We can now see our drone shot with all the drivers making their way back through, as there goes Jules Larkin back to the inside line of Charlie Foster and into third position as well. Through Vale they go, and while this helps Jack Simmons, who's now got a pretty sizable chunk of an advantage ahead of these guys, Charlie Foster is going to lose third position and potentially any sniff of second as well.
Yeah, it certainly is. Larkin was a big threat though to Simmons, so this really worked well for Jack Simmons in the end. But Foster has actually stayed ahead of Jules Larkin there, so he's actually defended well into 7 and 8 then, and held on to that podium position by the skin of his teeth though. Larkin, the Scotsman, is just looking absolutely fired up today, and just looking for every little opportunity he can, because he knows Tiley-Gooden is going to get back through if he gets this wrong here.
So close as we head into the final couple of laps of this race, as Charlie Foster defends for his life for third position. Jamie-Tiley-Gooden is able to squeeze past Jules Larkin and squeeze past the counter-attackers. There goes Jules down the inside line of Jamie-Tiley-Gooden, trying to find his way through. They're 3 wide briefly into turn 7, but Jamie-Tiley-Gooden's a cool customer and is able to hold on. Now has to defend on the outside as Jules Larkin tries to go through. They make it 3 wide down into the first corner for the final time in this race, and it's Jules Larkin who gets the better of it. Jamie-Tiley-Gooden has to settle for 4th position with has to settle for 5th position with Alex Angelostopoulos all over the back of this pack as well.
Yeah, and Luka Nick right at the tail, looking to take advantage as well, with Baboolal closing too. So it's all so tight for third onwards. And is that Charlie Foster slowing? It is! Oh dear, he has to get right to the inside and slow right down, but his car is completely shut down on the final lap. That's absolute heartbreak, Tom.
It is Charlie Foster over to the side of the race, so he's out of this battle for now. That will promote Jamie-Tiley-Gooden into third. Archie Bullard takes the checkered flag, a fantastic drive for him. Jack Simmons is delighted with second as they make their way up to the line. It's very claustrophobic in there. It's Jules Larkin in third position at the end, ahead of Jamie-Tiley-Gooden and Alex Angelostopoulos, but heartbreak for Charlie Foster.
Archie Bullard then ended up taking the victory in that race by nearly 5 seconds ahead of Jack Simmons. Archie was flying there, started 7th from the grid, got into lead on lap 2, and off he went into the distance. Jack Simmons held on to 2nd place then in the end, having been under pressure for a lot of that race, and Charlie Foster has been reinstated back into 3rd position after his kart broke down on the final lap. That's normal rules here in the EKS. If your kart does break down, you do get put back into position. In fact, you can see in the background now, you can see him sat there with the marshals just telling him that he's been put back into third. Jules Larkin was flying in that race, started 9th from the grid, and to be honest, if he started further up the field, he probably could have fought with Archie for the win. You can see he got the fastest lap of the race in that race with a 46.0. This is Jules' home track, and he showed how good he is around here. Jamie-Tiley-Gooden finished down in 5th place in the end, having been in that pack up at the sharp end, with Alexandros Adagnostopoulos doing a fantastic job to finish up in 6th place. Luca Nick came home as the top senior driver, finishing in 7th place, put his track knowledge to good use. He's a regular here in Sandown's DMAX SuperChamps, and Phillip Baboolal ended up finishing in 8th place ahead of Carlos Amanes and Daniel Vardan in 10th. Jack Whitehouse ended up finishing down in 11th place after being in the mid-pack throughout that race ahead of Callum Bendelow, with Alfie Shrub, who won the first race in split number 2. He did a good job coming from 19th place to finish up in 13th ahead of Ollie Cooper-Welton, within Simon Fuller, Louis Draper, Elliot Cheesley and Graham Fernandez rounding out the rest of the field. Tom Brown could not take part, unfortunately, in the end due to that old injury which reared its head in qualifying. But now we can head down to the pit lane where we have our senior class winner, Luca Nick.
Luca Nick, chaotic out there. How was that for you?
Yeah, really good. Worked with Carlos to build up a gap, just kept it clean, trying to stay off the curbs as much as possible, and yeah, just bring it home.
Thank you very much, Luca. Best of luck for the rest of the day.
Thank you.